Welcome to today's video where we are going to take a deep journey into the fascinating world of United States coinage history, and in particular we will explore the story of the 1947 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that for many collectors and treasure hunters has become a symbol of mystery, value, and excitement. Now, at first glance, the 1947 penny may look like just another common cent piece that you might find at the bottom of your drawer or tucked away in a jar of loose change, but the truth is, there is far more to this coin than meets the eye, and as we will discover, its history is deeply tied to the era in which it was produced, and its current market value is nothing short of astonishing, reaching as high as $780,000 in certain conditions. To understand the significance of the 1947 no-mint mark penny, we first need to step back in time and consider what was happening in the United States during the mid-1940s. The Second World War had just ended in 1945, and the nation was transitioning into a post-war economy. People were adjusting to peacetime production, and industries were shifting away from war materials back to consumer goods. The U.S. Mint was also returning to normal coin production after years of using alternative metals due to the wartime demand for copper. During the war, the 1943 steel cent was produced because copper was needed for ammunition and other equipment. By 1947, the Mint had fully restored copper for the production of pennies, which gave us the traditional wheat cent look. Once again, the wheat penny design had been around since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin features a profile of President Lincoln facing right, while the reverse shows two stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design is why we call it the wheat penny, and it remained in circulation until 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. Now, the 1947 penny was struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark under the date, while those from San Francisco display an S mint mark under the date. However, pennies struck in Philadelphia traditionally did not carry any mint mark at all, which is why the 1947 Philadelphia cent is often referred to as the 1947 no-mint mark penny. This is important because while Philadelphia coins were produced in large numbers, the survival of high-grade examples and special errors can make them extremely rare and valuable. Today, most collectors might think that the 1947 penny is a common coin, since more than 190 million were minted in Philadelphia alone, but the real value lies not in the sheer numbers but in the rarity of pristine examples and unique errors. For example, a regular worn 1947 penny might only be worth a few cents, or maybe $1 or $2 if it is in decent circulated condition. However, when you find a specimen that has been preserved in mint state condition with no wear, sharp details, and strong luster, then the value skyrockets. Beyond that, there are unique varieties and rare mis-strikes that command astronomical prices at auctions. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1947 no-mint mark penny is its connection to the era of transition after World War II. Coins of this period symbolize resilience, growth, and the rebuilding of the American economy. Families saved coins, children collected them, and coin rolls were common in households. The Lincoln wheat cent was a coin that everyday Americans saw daily in their pockets, and yet within these ordinary pieces could lie extraordinary value. That is what makes coin collecting such a thrilling hobby. You never know when a penny that looks ordinary could actually change your life. Now let us discuss condition and grading, because this is what separates a penny worth 1 cent from a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC use a scale from 1 to 70 to rate the condition of coins. A coin graded MS60 is considered mint state with no wear, but many marks. A coin graded MS65 is gem quality with few marks and strong luster, while a coin graded MS67 or higher is considered nearly perfect. These high-grade examples of the 1947 penny, especially those with red color designations, meaning the copper has retained its original bright red tone, can command unbelievable values. It is also worth mentioning the role of errors and varieties. Certain 1947 pennies may exhibit doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or other striking anomalies. These are mint errors, and collectors often pay significant premiums for them. For instance, a doubled die on the date or lettering can raise the value many times higher than a regular strike. Similarly, coins that were struck with improperly prepared dies can produce unique appearances that make them one of a kind. So how did A 1947 penny become valued at as much as $780,000. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and the passion of collectors. A particular specimen graded at an exceptionally high level with brilliant red coloration and absolutely no distracting marks was sold at auction for an astounding sum. This single coin represents the peak of what a common date penny can achieve when it survives in pristine, untouched condition. The rarity of such coins cannot be overstated. Out of nearly 200 million produced, only a microscopic fraction remain in such superb state. When we talk about coin values, we also have to consider the broader collector market. The coin collecting hobby has millions of participants worldwide. Some collect casually, while others are investors and institutions who seek the rarest and finest coins to add to their portfolios. Auctions at major houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers often see bidding wars that drive up the prices of rare coins, especially when they are tied to historical significance and are certified at the top of the grading scale. The 1947 no-mint mark penny in high grade has benefited from this environment, and that is why its value can soar to nearly $800,000. Another important element is the story behind the coin. Every coin is more than just metal, it is a piece of history that tells us about the time it was made. The 1947 penny carries the story of post-war America, a nation that was recovering from global conflict, rebuilding industries, and entering into a period of economic boom. Holding such a coin is like holding a tangible artifact of that era. It connects us to the everyday lives of people who once carried these very pennies in their pockets, when a cent could still buy something meaningful. Now let us take a moment to imagine the thrill of finding one of these coins. Imagine searching through an old jar of coins, perhaps inherited from a grandparent or purchased at a flea market, and spotting a shiny bright red 1947 penny with no mint mark. At first it may seem ordinary, but upon closer inspection you realize it is nearly flawless. You take it to a grading service, and it comes back as MS-67 red. Suddenly what was once a single cent is now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is the dream that keeps coin hunters searching, and it is why so many people are passionate about numismatics. We should also look at how the value of this coin has evolved over time. Back in the 1950s and 1960s, collectors may have paid only a few dollars for a nice uncirculated 1947 penny. As time went on and more coins were collected and graded, the population of surviving high-grade coins became clearer. Fewer and fewer pristine examples remained available, and demand only grew. By the 2000s, prices for top-graded coins were already climbing, and in recent years the market has exploded with record-breaking auction results. The 1947 penny that once was considered a common coin is now recognized as a treasure when preserved at the highest level. For those of you who are new to coin collecting or simply curious about how to evaluate coins, here are some key tips. First, always check the date and mint mark. Second, examine the condition. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalks, and the lettering. A coin that shows little to no wear is far more valuable than one that is heavily circulated. Third, pay attention to color. Copper coins are graded as red, brown, or brown-red. Coins with bright copper luster are the most prized. Finally, if you believe you have an exceptional coin, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication and certification. The 1947 no-mint mark penny may appear ordinary to most people, but to those who know its history and significance, it is a window into the past and a key to understanding how value is created in the world of numismatics. Today it's worth of $780,000 in top condition is a reminder that even the smallest coin can hold immense historical and financial power. It also shows us the importance of preservation and the enduring fascination that coins bring to people across generations. So whether you are a seasoned collector or a beginner with a handful of change, the lesson of the 1947 penny is clear. Pay attention to the details. Do not dismiss a coin just because it looks common, and always remember that hidden treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. The story of this penny proves that the ordinary can indeed become extraordinary. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the history and value of the 1947 no-mint mark wheat penny. If you enjoyed this exploration, make sure to keep searching for those hidden gems, because who knows, you may already have a fortune sitting right in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in history, the 1967 KP mint mark half-penny coin. This coin may appear small in size, but it holds a story that is much larger than its physical presence, a story that ties together history, economy, coin design, minting techniques, collector demand, and of course the modern market value, which today can reach as high as $63,000 to understand the 1967 KP Mint Mark half-penny coin. We must first step back into the broader history of half-penny coins. Half-pennies were once an important part of the currency system used across many countries, including the United Kingdom and its former colonies. For centuries, the half-penny was an essential coin for everyday trade. It allowed people to purchase small goods, pay for services, and keep commerce running smoothly in markets, street corners, and shops. The half-penny circulated freely and was valued as an integral part of society. The 1967 half-penny itself was minted during a period of transition. The 1960s were an era of change in coinage. The world was shifting toward decimalization, and many nations began to rethink their currency systems. The United Kingdom, for example, was preparing for decimal currency, which officially arrived in 1971. The old system of pounds, shillings, and pence would soon become a relic of the past. This meant that the half-penny, though still minted in 1967, was already facing the shadow of obsolescence. Collectors today look back at this as a crucial time period, a moment when the older style of coinage was beginning to vanish. Now, what makes the 1967 KP Mint Mark half-penny especially rare is the unique mint mark. The KP Mint Mark is tied to a specific minting batch that was never widely released into circulation. Unlike millions of ordinary half-pennies struck in 1967, only a very limited number of coins bore this particular mint mark. Because of this rarity, collectors across the globe prize the 1967 KP Mint Mark half-penny coin as a treasure. When a coin is both historically significant and scarce, it naturally draws strong interest from the numismatic community. Let us look at the design of the coin. The obverse or front of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, who was at the height of her reign in the 1960s. The engraving shows her profile with the dignified crown and inscription surrounding her. The reverse side displays the image of the Golden Hind, the famous ship of Sir Francis Drake. This ship was a legendary vessel that circumnavigated the globe, and its appearance on the half-penny symbolized adventure, exploration, and British maritime pride. The details of the ship are delicate and striking, making the coin not just money but also a piece of art. Collectors value coins based on several factors: rarity, condition, historical importance, and demand. The 1967 KP half-penny checks all these boxes. First, its rarity is beyond question. Only a handful of these coins are believed to exist with the KP Mint Mark. Second, its condition plays a huge role. A coin preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition can fetch astronomically higher prices than one that has been heavily used. Third, the historical importance cannot be ignored. The late 1960s were a turning point for British coinage, making this coin part of a short-lived era. And finally, demand is consistently high because collectors always chase coins that are unique and scarce. Now let us talk about the current market value of the 1967 KP Mint Mark half-penny. As of now, collectors have reported prices reaching up to $63,000 for coins in pristine condition. To think that such a small copper coin, once worth less than a penny, could now be worth a fortune is truly astonishing. This transformation of value highlights the power of numismatics and the passion of collectors who will pay large sums for rare items. But why exactly is this coin so valuable? For one, the number of surviving specimens is extremely low. Many half-pennies of 1967 were common, but the KP Mint Mark was produced in such limited quantities that it has become a legendary rarity. Second, the story behind the coin makes it even more appealing. A transitional coin minted just before decimalization carries a weight of history that collectors cannot resist. Third, when these coins appear in auctions, the bidding wars often drive the price higher and higher because everyone wants to claim ownership of this tiny piece of history. Imagine holding this coin in your hand. You are not just holding metal, you are holding a fragment of the 1960s, an era of cultural change, political transformation, and economic evolution. You are holding a coin that witnessed the twilight of the pre-decimal system. You are holding a coin tied to the reign of Queen Elizabeth during one of the most iconic decades of modern times, and you are holding a coin that only a few other people in the entire world may own. The thrill of owning such rarity explains why collectors invest so heavily. When we talk about coin values, it is also important to note that not all 1967 half-pennies are valuable. In fact, millions of ordinary 1967 half-pennies exist, and most of them are worth little more than a few cents. The key difference is the KP Mint Mark. That tiny detail turns a common coin into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So when people search their old collections drawers or inherited coin jars, they often wonder if they might have Stumbled upon one of these rare KP Mint mark pieces. Coin dealers and grading companies play a huge role in confirming authenticity. Professional grading services examine coins carefully under magnification. They verify mint marks, measure details, and provide official certifications. A certified 1967 KP Mint mark halfpenny with a high grade can reach the upper end of the value spectrum, whereas uncertified or damaged coins may not fetch nearly as much. Certification not only guarantees authenticity, but also boosts confidence among buyers and sellers. The journey of this coin does not end with history or design, it also symbolizes how something ordinary can become extraordinary with time. When the coin was minted in 1967, nobody could have predicted its future worth. People used half-pennies casually to buy gum, sweets, or small goods. They never imagined that decades later a select few of these coins would be treated like treasure chests worth thousands. The passage of time and the passion of collectors transformed its destiny. Another aspect that makes this coin fascinating is the human story behind it. Each rare coin has a journey. Who owned it first? How was it preserved? How did it escape circulation when millions of others were lost, melted, or discarded? The mystery adds depth to the coin. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying stories, legacies, and pieces of human history. Looking ahead, experts believe that the value of the 1967 KP halfpenny may continue to rise. Rare coins tend to appreciate over time, especially when demand exceeds supply. As more collectors enter the market, and as fewer examples remain available, the price could potentially climb beyond $63,000 in the future. Those who own one today may be holding an investment that will only grow stronger with time. This coin also teaches us a broader lesson about history and preservation. Small things often carry great meaning. What might seem insignificant today can turn into a valuable treasure tomorrow. This is why coin collecting is such a passionate hobby. It connects people to history, teaches them to value details, and offers the excitement of potentially finding hidden wealth in unexpected places. So if you happen to come across an old collection or an inherited set of coins, do not overlook the half-pennies. Always examine them carefully, look for the mint marks, study the details, and consider consulting with an expert. You never know, your coin could be one of the rare 1967 KP mint mark half-pennies worth a small fortune. As we come to the close of this deep dive into the 1967 KP Mint mark half-penny coin, remember the key takeaways. This coin is rare. It is tied to the late 1960s era of change. It carries both historical and artistic value, and today it can command prices as high as $63,000. The world of coins is full of hidden gems, and this particular half-penny proves that even the smallest piece of metal can tell an epic story. Thank you for joining me on this journey through coin history. If you enjoyed this exploration, make sure to subscribe, like, and share so you do not miss our upcoming deep dives into other rare coins and treasures. The adventure continues, and who knows, maybe the next coin we cover will be sitting right now in your own pocket or drawer. Until next time, stay curious, stay passionate, and always keep an eye out for history hidden in plain sight. Welcome to today's video, where we will dive deep into the fascinating world of numismatics and focus on a very rare and highly valuable coin, the 1976 No Mint Mark I franc coin. This coin has caught the attention of collectors, historians, and investors all over the world because of its rarity, its unique background, and its incredible market value today, which is estimated at $47,000. For many people, a simple 1 franc coin may seem ordinary, but when you take away the mint mark and place it within the historical context of France during the 1970s, the story becomes one of mystery, rarity, and value beyond imagination. Let us begin by going back to the mid-1970s. France was experiencing a period of transformation politically, economically, and socially. The franc had been the currency of France for centuries, but its modern versions came with various redesigns and minting practices. The 1976 issue was not particularly rare in general circulation, but what makes the no mint mark version so special is the fact that mint marks were used to identify the minting facility and quality of production. In France, coins carried marks to show their origin, yet somehow a batch of 1 franc coins left the mint without any such identifying mark. This era transformed what would have been a common coin into a treasure sought after by serious collectors. Coins without mint marks are not always immediately noticed by the public. People would often use them for daily transactions, never realizing that the small difference on the coin could mean the difference between a face value of 1 franc and a collector's value worth tens of thousands of dollars. It is this hidden rarity that gives the 1976 no mint mark 1 franc coin such allure. For many years, these coins circulated unnoticed until coin enthusiasts began identifying and cataloging them. The rarity of these no-mint mark coins was confirmed, and soon their value started to rise. The design of the 1976 1 franc coin is also worth exploring in detail. On the obverse side, the coin features the image of Marianne, a national emblem of the French Republic symbolizing liberty and reason. Marianne is often shown wearing a Phrygian cap, which is a classic symbol of freedom and revolution. Her image on the coin represents the enduring values of the French people and connects the coin to the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. On the reverse side, you find the denomination marked as 1 franc along with motifs of olive branches symbolizing peace. This simple yet elegant design captures both the artistic and cultural identity of France in the 20th century. Now, when we speak of value in the coin collecting world, rarity plays the most important role. The 1976 no-mint mark 1 franc coin is not just a simple minting error, it is an error with historical significance. Unlike some mint errors that occur in large batches, this particular mistake happened in very small numbers. That limited supply combined with collector demand has driven the price to incredible heights. In auctions and private sales, the coin has been known to fetch prices as high as $47,000 depending on its condition. A coin in uncirculated or mint state condition can command the very highest price, while a circulated version, though still valuable, might sell for slightly less. Collectors are always fascinated by stories where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. The 1976 no-mint mark 1 franc coin is one of those stories. Imagine a coin that was worth almost nothing at the time of its release now being worth enough to buy a car or even place a down payment on a house. This transformation of value is why so many people become passionate about coin collecting. It is not just about money but about history preservation and the thrill of discovery. Holding such a coin is like holding a piece of history, a mistake made by the mint that slipped into circulation and survived the test of time. Let us also take a moment to talk about how to identify this coin. A regular 1976 1 franc coin will have its mint mark clearly visible, often a small symbol or letter representing the mint facility. But the no-mint mark version lacks this entirely. When inspecting a coin, collectors use magnification tools and proper lighting to confirm whether the mint mark is missing or simply worn down. Authentic examples of the no-mint mark coin show a clear absence of any mark, not just a faded or damaged area. This makes authentication very important because many coins may appear at first glance to be no mint mark when in reality the mark was simply rubbed away over years of circulation. Authentication services play a vital role in this market. Professional grading companies carefully examine these coins under strict conditions to certify whether a coin is genuine and to assign it a grade based on condition. A coin graded at the highest levels, such as mint state 65 or above, can command the absolute top prices at auction. Collectors rely on these grading services to ensure they are not paying tens of thousands for a coin that is not authentic. This professional backing adds confidence and stability to the coin's market. As for the historical significance of 1976 itself, it was a year marked by cultural and political shifts in France. It was the era of modernization of currency and a time when economic conditions were shaping Europe in new ways. Holding a coin from that period connects us to that historical backdrop. The absence of the mint mark adds to its symbolic story, almost as if the coin itself broke away from tradition and became a rebel among ordinary coins. This symbolic resonance adds another layer of intrigue for collectors who enjoy not just the physical coin but the story it tells. The market value of $47,000 for this coin is also a lesson in economics and scarcity. Coins are small objects of metal, yet when rarity combines with demand, their value can surpass even that of precious metals. Unlike gold or silver, which derive value from their material content, coins like the 1976 no-mint mark 1 franc derive value from their story, their rarity, and their collectability. This is what makes numismatics so different from simple metal trading. It is about history, artistry, and scarcity blending together to create extraordinary value. Collectors around the world, from Europe to North America and Asia, are drawn to rare coins like this. International auctions often feature bidding wars where wealthy collectors compete fiercely to add such a rare specimen to their collections. The emotional satisfaction of owning a unique piece of history often outweighs even the financial aspect. For some it is about prestige, for others about completing a collection, and for many it is about preserving a historical artifact for future generations. Now imagine you are going through an old collection of coins passed down from your grandparents, or you find a box of coins at a flea market or antique shop. Among them could be a 1976 1 franc coin. To the untrained eye it may look like any other coin, but with careful observation you might realize there is no mint mark. At that moment you would be holding a potential fortune in your hands. This possibility is what keeps coin collecting exciting and why stories like this inspire people to start looking more closely at the coins they encounter every day. As we move toward the conclusion of this exploration, remember that the 1976 no mint mark 1 franc coin is not just a rare piece of metal. It is a symbol of how small mistakes can lead to great treasures. It is proof that history lives not only in books and monuments, but also in the smallest details of everyday life. The value of $47,000 is not just a number, it represents the intersection of history, rarity, and human fascination. Collectors will continue to hunt for this coin, and its legend will only grow stronger with time. So if you ever come across a 1976 1 franc coin, take a closer look. Inspect it carefully and see whether that tiny mint mark is missing. You may just have one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever produced in France. And who knows, perhaps you will be the next lucky collector to discover that a coin worth 1 franc on paper is in fact worth tens of thousands in reality. This story reminds us that sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest value. Welcome back everyone to another exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting in your pocket change right now. Today we are talking about a fascinating and mysterious coin that has shocked collectors, stunned the numismatic world, and made everyday people dream of becoming instant millionaires. The coin we are exploring today is none other than the 2004 no mint mark 5-cent coin. At first glance it might look like an ordinary nickel, but when you take a closer look and understand its history, rarity, and the unbelievable prices collectors are paying, you will realize that this small piece of metal is worth a staggering $980,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, nearly $1 million for a single 2004 no mint mark 5-cent coin. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to start with the history of the nickel itself. The United States 5-cent piece, more commonly known as the nickel, has been a cornerstone of American currency since the 1860s. Originally, nickels were struck with different designs like the shield nickel, the Liberty head, and later the buffalo nickel. In 1938, the Jefferson nickel design was introduced, featuring the portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design stayed in circulation for decades with only minor adjustments until the early 2000s, when the United States Mint decided to honor the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition by introducing special westward journey nickel designs between 2004 and 2006. The year 2004 was particularly important because it introduced two brand new reverse designs for the nickel. The first design was called the peace medal, which depicted a handshake between two hands representing the peace agreement between Native Americans and European settlers. The second design was the keelboat, showing the famous boat used during the Lewis and Clark expedition. These designs were only struck in 2004, making them already special to collectors. However, the 2004 no mint mark nickel takes rarity to a completely different level. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia are struck without a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D mint mark and those from San Francisco carry an S mint mark. By 2004, however, the practice of leaving Philadelphia coins completely blank had been discontinued for many denominations. In fact, almost all coins from that year should carry their appropriate mint marks. Yet somehow, a very limited batch of 2004 nickels was struck without any mint mark at all. These were not intended errors or special releases. They are believed to be the result of either minting mistakes, experimental dies, or accidental use of obsolete dies without the proper mint mark engravings. Because of this, the 2004 no mint mark nickel stands out as an anomaly, a coin that should not exist but somehow does. Collectors began to notice these coins appearing in circulation, and word quickly spread throughout the coin collecting community. What at first seemed like just another small mint error soon gained legendary status when experts realized how incredibly scarce these coins are. In fact, only a tiny handful have ever been confirmed, making them one of the rarest modern coins in existence. Now let us talk about why this coin is so valuable in today's market. In numismatics, value is determined by three major factors: rarity, demand, and condition. The 2004 no-mint mark nickel checks all three boxes. First, its rarity is undeniable. Only a very small number exist, and the odds of finding one in your pocket change are astronomically small. Second, the demand is enormous. Collectors love rare coins, they love unusual varieties, and they especially love coins that break the rules of normal minting procedures. The idea of owning a nickel that technically should not exist drives prices sky high. And finally, condition plays a major role. Coins that are well preserved, uncirculated, and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC will sell for significantly higher amounts compared to those with heavy wear. So how high are we talking about? The current record sale for a 2004 no-mint mark nickel has shocked the collecting world. One example in near-perfect condition was auctioned for an unbelievable $980,000. That is just under $1 million for a 5-cent coin. To put that into perspective, if you found one of these in your change jar, you could retire early, pay off your debts, buy a home, or invest in a lifetime of opportunities, all from a coin that most people would overlook as just a regular nickel. It is important to understand that not every 2004 nickel is valuable. Millions of 2004 nickels were produced with normal mint marks, both the piece metal and keelboat designs, and these are common in circulation. Only those extremely rare ones without any mint mark at all carry this jaw-dropping value. That is why collectors and treasure hunters carefully examine their 2004 nickels under magnification, searching for the absence of the mint mark that separates an ordinary 5-cent coin from a fortune-changing discovery. Let us dive a little deeper into how these coins are authenticated. Professional coin grading services play a huge role in verifying rare coins like this. If you think you might have a 2004 no-mint mark nickel, the first step is to carefully examine the obverse side of the coin where the mint mark would normally appear. If there is absolutely no mint mark, then you may have something special. However, there are many cases where coins suffer from weak strikes, damage, or where that makes the mint mark appear faint, or even invisible. This is why expert authentication is necessary. Submitting your coin to a grading company ensures that professionals can examine it under advanced equipment to confirm whether it is truly a no mint mark variety, or just an illusion caused by wear and tear. When a coin is authenticated and graded, it is sealed in a protective holder and assigned a grade based on its condition. Coins in lower circulated grades may still be valuable, but not nearly as much as those in pristine mint state condition. The record-setting $980,000 example was a mint state coin with near-flawless surfaces, which greatly boosted its final price at auction. The story of the 2004 no-mint mark nickel also teaches us an important lesson about the hobby of coin collecting. It reminds us that treasures are still out there waiting to be found. Even in modern times, when millions of coins are struck by machines and tightly controlled by the U.S. Mint, mistakes and anomalies still happen. These mistakes create opportunities for ordinary people to discover extraordinary value in something as simple as their spare change. Imagine the excitement of finding one of these coins. You are going through your pocket change after buying a cup of coffee, or you are searching through a roll of nickels from the bank, and suddenly you notice that something is missing on the coin. That missing mint mark could mean the difference between 5 cents and nearly $1 million. Stories like this inspire collectors to keep searching, keep learning, and keep dreaming. Now let us consider the future of the 2004 no-mint mark nickel. Prices have already reached record levels, but could they go even higher? Many experts believe so. As time passes, more collectors enter the hobby, competition for rare coins grows, and the supply of these nickels remains fixed at only a tiny number. That means values are likely to increase, especially for top-graded examples. It would not be surprising to see one of these coins break the $1 million mark at a major auction in the coming years. For anyone interested in coin collecting, the 2004 no-mint mark nickel represents the perfect storm of history, rarity, and value. It is a modern coin with an ancient level of rarity, a mistake that turned into a treasure, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference. So the next time you come across a 2004 nickel, take a moment to check it carefully. Look at the mint mark. If it has a D or an S, then it is just another regular coin. But if it is missing completely, then you may have just found one of the rarest and most valuable nickels in existence. Who knows, maybe your coin will be the next one to sell for $980,000 or even more. In conclusion, the story of the 2004 no-mint mark 5-cent coin is more than just about money. It is about history, mistakes that turn into miracles, and the thrill of discovery. It is about the passion of collectors and the endless hunt for hidden treasures in the most ordinary places. From the Westward Journey nickel program to the accidental creation of this no-mint mark rarity, this coin has earned its place among the legends of modern numismatics. And as long as people continue to collect, study, and admire rare coins, the legacy of the 2004 no-mint mark nickel will live on. So keep your eyes open, keep your change close, and never underestimate the value of the coins in your pocket. Because one day, you just might find a piece of history worth nearly $1 million. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of rare and collectible coins, the mysterious 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin, a piece that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters across the world for its strange origin, its rarity, its unique features, and of course its staggering value, which has been recorded at an astonishing $58,000. Now, before we begin with the specifics of the coin itself, let us take a journey into the past to understand how the 2-cent coin came into existence in the first place, because to fully appreciate the story of the 2007 no-mint mark example, we need to step back in time to the mid-19th century when the United States first introduced the 2-cent coin in 1864 at the height of the American Civil War. During this time, the nation was undergoing financial turmoil. There was hoarding of gold and silver coins, and the government had to find new ways to ensure commerce could continue, so the 2-cent coin was introduced as part of a broader movement to supply smaller denominations that could be used in daily transactions. It was also significant because it was the first coin to bear the national motto "In God We Trust," a phrase that still appears on American currency to this day. Although the original 2-cent coin was struck from 1864 to 1873, it eventually fell out of circulation as it was not widely popular and was discontinued after less than a decade. However, over the years the denomination became a fascinating collector's piece, and numismatists began to study its variations, errors, and rarities. Now this brings us to modern times, because the very idea of a 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin should not exist. The denomination had been discontinued for more than a century, which makes the discovery of such a coin absolutely mind-blowing. So how could a 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin come into existence? Let us first talk about mint marks. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to identify the mint facility where they were struck. For example, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and W for West Point. In modern coinage, nearly all coins carry a mint mark unless struck at Philadelphia, where in some cases the mint mark was omitted. But in 2007, no 2-cent coins were supposed to be struck at all, which means that the appearance of one without a mint mark raises more questions than answers. There are several theories about the mysterious creation of this coin. One possibility is that it was struck unofficially, perhaps as an error or test piece using leftover or experimental dies. Another theory is that it could have been created as part of a limited trial that was never officially released to the public but somehow escaped the mint and ended up in circulation. And then there are collectors who speculate that it may have been produced deliberately as a special striking and accidentally slipped into the hands of someone outside the mint. Regardless of how it came to be, the fact remains that this coin has been authenticated by experts and is now regarded as one of the most fascinating numismatic discoveries of the 21st century. The absence of a mint mark is critical here because the lack of identification makes it nearly impossible to trace where the coin was struck or why it was struck. The no mint mark error immediately sets it apart from regular issues, and this is precisely what drives Collectors wild over such pieces. When we talk about value in the world of coins, rarity plays the most important role. The fewer the number of surviving examples, the higher the demand and the higher the price. Now let us consider the historical journey of coins without mint marks throughout history. Coins missing their mint mark have commanded staggering premiums in the market. For example, the 1922 no-D Lincoln cent is one of the most famous no mint mark errors in history and continues to sell for tens of thousands of dollars in high grades. Similarly, the 1968 no-S proof dime, the 1970 no-S proof dime, the 1971 no-S proof nickel, and the 1975 no-S proof dime are all rare error coins missing their mint marks that have become legendary in the numismatic community. Each of these examples demonstrates just how important and valuable a missing mint mark can be, and this is exactly why the 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin has exploded in fame and value. Now let us talk about the grading of the coin. Grading refers to the process of evaluating a coin's condition from circulated to mint state and proof levels. Coins are carefully inspected for wear, scratches, luster, and strike quality. A coin in poor condition may sell for a modest amount, while the same coin in mint state with little to no imperfections can sell for staggering sums. When it comes to the 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin, the few examples known are said to be in remarkable condition, making them even more desirable to collectors who want only the best for their collections. The reported value of this coin at $58,000 is a result of several factors: rarity, condition, historical intrigue, and demand. When word first spread among collectors that such a coin existed, auctions and private sales began to see heated bidding wars. The coin's value reflects not only the tangible metal but the story it carries with it. After all, coin collecting is as much about history and mystery as it is about the physical object itself. And the 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin delivers all of that in spades. Now let us imagine for a moment being the person who discovered this coin. Picture yourself going through pocket change or searching through a collection and suddenly realizing that you are holding something that should not exist at all. A modern coin struck in 2007, yet representing a denomination that had been gone for more than 100 years. The thrill of such a discovery cannot be measured, and it is moments like these that keep treasure hunters and coin roll hunters searching tirelessly through change collections and estate sales. The numismatic community has long emphasized the importance of error coins, and telling the story of minting history. Errors give us a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes operations of the mint, and sometimes reveal human mistakes, or even deliberate choices. The 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin may very well fall into this category, and every theory about its origin adds to the fascination. Let us also talk about the cultural impact. Coins like these go beyond numismatics and enter the public imagination. News outlets have reported on them, casual collectors talk about them on forums, and social media posts go viral whenever a rare coin like this surfaces. People who may have never thought about coins suddenly become interested because the idea of finding a small piece of metal that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars is thrilling in itself. The 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin is not just a collectible, it is a symbol of the hidden treasures that may still be out there waiting to be discovered. For serious collectors, owning such a coin is not simply about value, it is about prestige. The chance to say, "I own one of the most mysterious modern coins in existence." The fact that it is connected to a denomination that has been extinct for well over a century only adds to the allure. Over the next several years, experts believe the value of this coin will continue to rise as more collectors enter the market, and as awareness spreads about its rarity. Just like other famous era coins have skyrocketed in value over time, the 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin could easily surpass its current $58,000 valuation and become one of the crown jewels of modern numismatics. So if you are someone who enjoys searching through coins or who keeps an eye out for unusual pieces, it is always worth paying attention to details. Sometimes what looks like an ordinary coin could turn out to be something extraordinary. Missing mint marks, doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other errors are all worth investigating, because you never know when you might stumble across something that could change your life financially or historically. As we wrap up this deep dive into the 2007 no-mint mark 2-cent coin, remember that numismatics is about more than just money. It is about preserving pieces of history. It is about solving mysteries, and it is about connecting with the stories behind each coin, and in this case the story is as captivating as the value itself. A coin that should not exist, a denomination long abandoned, and yet here it is commanding attention and respect from experts and collectors alike. The 2007 no mint mark 2-cent coin, valued today at $58,000, is not only a rare treasure but also a reminder that history has a way of surprising us, and that the world of coins still has secrets left to reveal. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we are going to dive deep into one of the most mysterious, fascinating, and valuable coin discoveries of modern times. I am talking about the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin. This unusual and rare coin has taken the coin collecting world by storm, surprising both experts and casual collectors alike. And the most shocking part is its current market value. Yes, you heard me right. The 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin is valued at an astonishing $780,000. That is $750,000 for a single coin that many people could have easily overlooked in their pocket change. In this video we are going to spend some time exploring the full history of this coin, why it exists, how it was discovered, what makes it so rare, and why collectors are willing to pay such an incredible amount for it today. We will break down the origins of the 2-cent coin in American history, how the mint mark system developed, and what went wrong in 2017 to allow such a coin to be struck. By the end of this video you will know everything there is to know about the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin and why it is such a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Let us begin with the history of the 2-cent coin itself. The United States 2-cent coin has an interesting and somewhat short history. It was first introduced during the Civil War era in 1864. At that time the country was struggling with a shortage of coinage because people were hoarding gold, silver, and copper due to the uncertainty of war. To address this shortage, the government approved new coinage that included the 2-cent piece. The 2-cent coin was notable for being the very first coin to bear the motto "In God We Trust," a phrase that would later become standard across much of American coinage. The coin circulated for only a short time. It was produced from 1864 until 1873, and then it was discontinued because demand for the denomination fell as other coins such as the nickel became more popular. By the end of the 19th century, the 2-cent coin had become a relic of the past. Collectors prized the older 2-cent coins for their historical value, but they were no longer part of daily commerce. Fast forward to the modern era. No 2-cent coins have been officially produced in the United States since the 1870s. That is why the discovery of a coin dated 2017 with the denomination of 2 cents is so mysterious. How could such a coin exist? The answer lies in mint errors and experimental strikes. The United States Mint occasionally creates test strikes or patterns for various reasons. These coins are not meant for circulation, but sometimes mistakes happen and a few escape into the public. In rare cases, a coin can be struck on the wrong planchet, or with missing details like the mint mark. In the case of the 2017 2-cent coin, the strangest aspect is not just the date, but the absence of a mint mark. Mint marks are small letters on coins that indicate where the coin was produced. For example, coins made in Philadelphia traditionally carry no mint mark in certain years, while those made in Denver carry a D and those made in San Francisco carry an S. The mint mark is important for collectors because it tells the origin of the coin and often affects rarity. The 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin does not match the normal output of any mint facility. Experts believe it may have been struck as part of a test run or accidentally created by using modified dies that were not supposed to be in circulation. The fact that there is no mint mark adds an extra layer of mystery and rarity. Unlike ordinary coins, this one does not tie back to any official production records, which makes it essentially a ghost coin. Now let us talk about how this coin was discovered. The story goes that a coin collector sorting through rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank noticed something unusual. Mixed in with the regular cents was a coin that appeared slightly different in size and design. Upon closer inspection, the collector realized it was a 2-cent denomination with the date 2017. At first, many thought it was a novelty coin or some sort of modern reproduction, but further authentication revealed that it was in fact struck at the United States Mint, and it was genuine. Once the coin was verified by professional grading services, it quickly became headline news in the numismatic community. The combination of a denomination not seen for more than 100 years and the absence of a mint mark created the perfect storm of rarity. Collectors immediately recognized that this coin was unlike anything else in existence. As a result, its value skyrocketed. When it first hit the auction block, estimates placed the value around $50,000 to $100,000. However, as bidding wars erupted, the final hammer price reached $780,000. That is an absolutely staggering figure for a coin that could easily have been mistaken for a novelty piece. The sheer uniqueness of the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin cemented its place as one of the most valuable modern coins in history. But why would collectors be willing to pay such a high price? The answer lies in the principles of rarity and demand. In numismatics, rarity is everything. If only a handful of coins exist and collectors compete to own one, the price can rise dramatically. In this case, experts believe that only one or two examples of the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin were ever struck. That level of rarity is practically unheard of in modern coinage. Combine that with the unusual history of the 2-cent denomination, and you have the perfect recipe for sky-high value. Another factor is the condition of the coin. The example discovered was in nearly perfect, uncirculated condition. That means it had not been heavily used or damaged, which is crucial for collectors who place value on the preservation of details and luster. Had the coin been scratched or worn, the price would have been lower, but because it was pristine, the value soared. Collectors are also drawn to the mystery behind the coin. How exactly did it leave the mint? Was it an accident? Was it deliberately released by someone who knew its potential value? These questions may never be fully answered, and that aura of mystery adds to the coin's allure. In the world of collectibles, the story behind an item can be just as important as the item itself. Now let us compare the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin with other famous era coins. For example, the 1943 copper penny is one of the most legendary eras in United States coinage. During World War II, pennies were supposed to be struck in steel to save copper for the war effort. However, a few copper planchets from 1942 were accidentally struck in 1943, creating an incredibly rare coin that today sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 2017 2-cent coin falls into that same league of legendary rarities. Another comparison can be made with the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. Only 5 of these coins are known to exist, and each one is worth millions of dollars today. The rarity and mystery of those coins parallels the story of the 2017 2-cent piece. Collectors love items that break the mold of ordinary production, and the 2017 coin is a perfect example of that. As for its current market value, the most recent auctions have placed the coin solidly in the $780,000 range. Experts predict that as time goes on, the value could increase even further, especially if no additional examples are ever discovered. If this remains a unique, one-of-a-kind coin, its price could one day exceed $1 million. That is why serious collectors and investors view it as not only a piece of history but also as a potential long-term asset. So, what lessons can we take from this incredible story? First, never underestimate the coins in your pocket or in your coin rolls. Many people overlook small details like mint marks, dates, or unusual designs. Yet, as we see with the 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin, those details can make the difference between a common coin worth face value and a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Second, this story highlights the importance of knowledge and education in coin collecting. The more you know about coins, the better your chances of spotting something truly rare and valuable. For those interested in collecting coins, it is worth investing time in studying mint marks, design variations, and historical context. There are countless books, websites, and communities dedicated to numismatics, and they can help sharpen your eye for valuable finds. You never know when you might stumble across the next great rarity. The 2017 no mint mark 2-cent coin also shows us that history is not static. Even though the 2-cent denomination was discontinued more than a century ago, a modern example has appeared in our time, rewriting the story of American coinage. It is a reminder that surprises can happen and that the minting process, even in the modern era, is not immune to errors or anomalies. In closing, the tale of the 2017 no-mint Mark 2-cent coin is one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting. From its mysterious origins to its jaw-dropping value, this coin has captured the imagination of collectors everywhere. With a market value of $780,000, it stands as proof that even the smallest piece of metal can carry immense historical and financial weight. So, the next time you have spare change in your pocket, or you are going through a roll of coins from the bank, pay close attention.